Hello. Great, fabulous Monday evening to you. It is Lisa Tanya, co-host, and tonight I'm acting guest host for the Be Positive Show. And with me is Brother Alex Freeman. He will be filling in tonight as guest co-host. We are elated about tonight's show. February is the month of love, and as you can see, the studio is full of red. Tonight we'll be talking to 4 amazing people, 2 men and 2 women, about single and dating, maybe the pressures of dating during the love month. February is also the month of National Heart Month, and so with that being said, rest in heavenly peace, Mr. Conley, who suffered from heart disease. Robin, my host, and myself, co-host. So, yes, we are here this fabulous Monday night. Oh, I'm already ready for the weekend. Oh, this has been a long week. Anywho, Alex, tell the viewers something about yourself.
How you doing? My name is Alex Freeman. I am from Georgia, Coweta County to be exact. I am a father of 2, loving two young men. Work in sales as well, but with the background in broadcast journalism. And I'm just happy to be here, you guys, to have me. I really appreciate the opportunity.
That is just awesome. That's awesome. So, if you're just tuning in, tonight's show will be talking to 4 amazing people on single and dating and the pressures of dating during the month of February, which we call the Love Month. So if you would, ask yourselves and your friends to like, invite, and share. Comment. Feel free to dial 470-251-4343 if you want to join in tonight, you want to say hello in person, or you just want to say we're looking fabulous. Alrighty. So with that being said, we're getting ready to break for a quick minute and see if our other guest has arrived, and if not, we'll jump right back in with our amazing introduction for our guest tonight. And we're back. As we're said, if you're just joining us, our tonight's show is talking about love, the month of February, as well as Heart Month. So, our amazing guests, we have Shanita Scott Conley, author of 2 amazing books, and I'm finding out she's a great cook. We cannot wait to see what she tells us this evening. We have Brother Jabron Thomas of Jabron Music, a phenomenal singer-composer. We have my fabulous host here this evening, Sister Robin Watson, and of course our old familiar face, Brother Timothy Jackson, who is also a playwright. He's a drummer, among other things, and we'll let him tell you what he was recently cast in. So with that being said, Alex, take it away.
Well, since we're going on the subject of being single in this month, as far as dating-wise, what's the biggest pressure you think you have right now, Jabron, as far as, especially with you being a father?
Let's see, the biggest pressure I think I would have, being single in a month of love. Not wasting my time. Not wasting my time. That would be one of the biggest pressures. compromising and I guess going for something that is going to be a good positive contribution to myself as well as me being one. So.
Okay. So, Ms. Shanika, same question for you. What do you feel like is the biggest pressure for you? And do you go into a situation looking with a set list of, hey, this guy has to meet this standard, this standard, this standard, before I even give him a chance? Or are you an open book?
Well, actually, I don't have any pressures per se.
Okay.
Because I am pretty clear about what I'm looking for or I desire. So I do have a minimal list, and I'm a widow. So first of all, there was a standard that was set.
Understand that.
So there is a minimal standard that I'm looking for, but I am open to meeting and talking to anyone. Most of the time, they become friends, if nothing else.
Well, that's good then. That's good. I know February brings a lot of pressure to people. They feel like they have to do certain things in this month. So I just want to know, for you, Robin, do you feel like you have to do certain things, or do you feel like the man has to do certain things? Because February is just a month.
Let me tell you, you and I just had this discussion, and it is really hard for me. I broke my ankle, and having other people to do things for me now that I realize that I need help, it's kind of hard. And my relationships are pretty much like that. So I kind of think that's probably one of the reasons why I think that I am still single. I'm not a hard person to get along with once you get to know me, but I'm just used to doing it by myself. I was in a relationship, married for 9 years, in a relationship with my son's father for 25 years, walked away from relationship. So I really haven't had any single time. I've now been single for 6 years, and I'm living life and I'm enjoying it. Not saying that if someone comes along that is interested in a relationship, that I wouldn't be open for that, okay. But I think I'm pretty hard. So I don't know, and I'm learning that through this broke foot.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I mean, that's good. That's good. So, are you with a guy? Would you're single by choice? But
I am.
You would have to. Are you open to letting somebody cater to you?
Of course, I am. Okay. My son's not letting me say no. He made me. I've been driving, and he's like, "Mom, look at your toes." It's like, you're not supposed to be looking at my toes. He said, well, I'm your man right now, and you're not driving. So he dropped me off at the studio today. And, yes, I think I would be open, but it would probably really be hard for me because I'm now at 6 years in, and I'm loving it, to be honest with you. To be honest with you. At first, I thought it was going to be devastating. I'm like, okay, I've been with this person for 25 years. We did everything. We went to work together. We did everything together. And I'm thinking in my mind, okay, what is single? I don't even know what that is. How am I going to, transition from being in a relationship for 25 years and then being single? The first 2 years were a struggle. Oh, now it's easy peasy. Okay. It is. Okay. It is.
Living your life like it's golden.
Like it's golden.
So, Miss Anita, question for you, to kind of touch base with what Robin said. So, you're a widow, and you have like you say, you have a standard that is already set. Mm-hmm. Is it hard for you to kind of let go of some of those standards, just to be a little bit more open? Not saying you're closed-minded, but open-minded a little bit more, and because some men are not going to meet that standard. Mm-hmm. That's why you were married for so long.
Well, let me start over. I was married right out of high school, and we were together for 7 years. I was a single mom for 20 years before my husband, deceased husband, came into my life, and we married 2 years later. Okay. So I dated a lot and made a lot of mistakes during those 20 years. So when my husband came into my life, and he was a widower and had been married for 22 years, together for 24 years with his wife, there were just some things that I had determined prior to him becoming my friend, later my lover, then my husband, that I had decided I was just not going to negate. One, he had to love the Lord.
First.
And I did not have to teach him that part. He wasn't going to be coming to church because I was coming to church. He had to have some stability. And for me, that was really important. So I was married to 2 military men. And so I left home from dad to military men. So all my life, that's all I know. So stability was key. Now, I'm not saying that he can't be blue collar, but there's just some things that are just really important. So first, if he loves God, he's going to be able to love me the right way. So there's some wiggle room. However, there's still that number one thing at the top of my list.
Okay.
That's good.
What about you, Mr. Timothy? How is this month for you as far as relationship-wise? Do you feel the pressure to take women out on dates? I don't know if you're currently dating, and how do you handle being single but dating during this month and Valentine's Day comes around?
That's a loaded question. It's loaded because there's a lot going on. I appreciate singlehood, first of all. So I'm not pressed to collect a Valentine, I put it that way. Because I value certain things. I'm at a point in my life, guys, I'm moving close to 40. I have a lot of wonderful things that's going on in my life. So, and a lot of the things that I do, it requires, it's in entertainment. It's dealing with people. It requires security for an individual. I don't want just a fan member. I want somebody that's actually going to compliment me and actually understand and be comfortable. Look, this is what he does. This is what pays the bills, that type of thing. And I'm comfortable. The fact that I can invite somebody to come out to some of the things that I do, that means a lot. They understand sometimes I'm going away, which could be beneficial. That means I have an opportunity to miss them while I'm gone. Things like that. So building things. But the pressure comes in actually choosing myself. If I'm not comfortable with dating myself, spending time with myself, because a lot of time in relationships in my past, that's what I've done. I spent more time, more energy into the individual, or more time with my children versus, okay, me. Do I know me? Have I catered to what I need? Do I know what I need? Learning the 5 love languages and things like that. Those things are important as I start building myself and get myself prepared for where I'm going. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
Well, that is amazing. That is amazing. I wanted to just know, we talked so much about dating and what has happened. I know a lot of times culturally there may be issues. Sir, have any of you all dated outside of the race, or are you open to dating outside of your race? And if so, what do you think the challenges would be for you?
Well, I'll say this. I've dated outside my race.
Okay.
And it was fun. I'll be honest with you, it was. It's nice. It's a fresh outlook. It does have a challenge based on what their upbringing is. Like I've realized the closeness that our ethnic background is, sometimes it's not there based on the upbringing of the individual, the young lady, in my particular situation, the young ladies, where the value of a father, that means a lot.
Right.
The respect that a man would actually have or earn, for that matter, that means a lot in how she thinks, how she acts, how she'll respond to me as well. So since I understand that, there's a challenge because it's a hit or miss. Some people will either, okay, well, I had that relationship with my father, or I seen my mom and dad in a relationship that works, regardless of their ethnic background, that works. I'm like, okay, I want to pattern that. But then you have some people like that. I saw how this worked out. It didn't work so good because I didn't see it looking like this, or even have a being that is like that. I'll just use it that way. So I had an opportunity to deal with somebody that was Hispanic.
Okay.
Their family values are different. We kind of pick at them from a work ethic,
Right.
but they love each other beyond
Exactly.
something you will ever understand. And for you to actually be in a situation where you can actually link up with them, that means that's a trust factor that you've actually gained. That, okay, you're comfortable enough to bring me into this type of environment, knowing what they already know and how they were normally brought up, and they're kind of going against the grain. It's a privilege to be in that situation. But I also realize that it's a privilege to be with me, based on what I know. So
Right.
I it's kind of like evening out the playing field. So it feel like it's not swaying one way or the other.
Oh, that was great. That was
That was
great.
good.
That was awesome.
I'm trying to be really, really good and not ask questions because I'm sitting here, but okay.
One
I like to share.
Thank you.
There was a time in my life where that was not even an option.
Okay.
And the older I've gotten, the more flexible I have become to love. And love could look different from what I see in the mirror.
Exactly.
And so I do have a friend who is a Caucasian man that lives in Virginia that is a wonderful friend that I've flown there. And let me just say, before I even got to Virginia to visit for the weekend, he had already sent me a list of here's the things that I'm thinking about for us to do. But I want to send it to you so you can tell me what you'd like to do.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
It was already, the whole weekend was already planned, very thoughtful. Hey, I'm going grocery shopping. Tell me some of the foods you'd like for me to have at the house for you when you get here while we're here. I mean, it was just wonderful.
Yes.
But there was no intimacy there, but we had the best time.
Okay.
So I am now at a place where I'm open to love.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's
So
awesome.
do you feel? Okay, I'm sorry.
So we're switching hats.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay,
Just
I'll-
write
okay.
it down and I'll ask.
I'll send you a text message.
I love it. I love it.
Okay. all
We
right.
have our co-host over, our host over here pulling rank. She's gonna ask a question. Girl, go and ask a question. Ask a question.
I'm not. I'm gonna sit here and be.
I'm interested to see what
Yeah,
you
I would love
Right,
to
you
hear
wanna
it.
know what
Yes.
you're talking about.
Well, you say that there was no intimacy there.
Physical. Correction.
Oh.
Correction.
So
physical
do you think
intimacy.
that because of the burial, because of the race, that was the reason? Did you have it already set in your mind that you may have overthought about it instead of just enjoying and being in the,
Absolutely.
So that's
absolutely
okay.
Absolutely.
So
You're
that's
right.
what that was my question. Actually, I just wanted to know. I mean, I've dated outside of the race. I think 2 different people, but it was kind of like just a fun thing. It was something that we both were exploring. It wasn't anything that I think either one of us took seriously.
Okay.
We was just forming a friendship. We're still friends now, but as far as a relationship, I think that my boundaries are, and I'm not prejudiced by any means, but I just think that my culture is where I would want to date. I don't think that I would want to go outside of my race to date anyone else. That's just how I feel. So.
Brother Jabron?
Well, I was raised a certain way. I grew up around a lot of beautiful black women. My mother's, my aunties, my sisters, grandparents, etc. So I've always been front forward towards the sisters. And not just, when I say sisters, I'm talking about what we call black American, not African, not whatever. I'm talking about what we call sisters. So that's where I've pretty much always been, and that's where I feel most home. So, no digs to anybody that is willing to experience that. But I'm at a place now in my life now. I realize love is love.
Love is
So
love.
I don't critique anybody for what they do, but I do feel home with my melanin people. So.
Awesome. And I have a special treat for you because I didn't tell you all this. But Brother Jabron, we mentioned it briefly, and I don't even think he knew about this. So show the women what you're working with, brother. Show the women what kind of voice you have so some of the women can start dialing our phones and hit our feed. And let them know what kind of night they could be into if you just happen to have to croon them.
I need to close my eyes.
No, just enjoy it and take notes. Take notes.
Well, my market is to the women. Beautiful women such as yourself. So
Thank you.
I have a song called Beautiful. You can check it out on iTunes, Apple Music, or
Hold
whatever.
up. Did you know this when I asked you that question just a few minutes ago?
I mean, yeah, I did know this.
Oh, okay.
But I guess I was saving a little bit for that.
Okay, all right.
So,
Okay.
But I have a song called Beautiful. Y'all should check it out. And I'll do a little something for you. See, you're beautiful, and if I never told you so, girl, I think you're wonderful. And it's incredible to let you know what's beautiful is your eyes when they're surprised to hear me telling you that you're beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Little song. Thank you.
And if y'all didn't notice, he do the eye contact with the ladies. Hey, he knows what he doing. He knows what he's doing.
That's it. He knows what he's doing. That's exactly
He's a performer. Yes.
I would like to know myself, are you looking for love or romance?
Okay. Am I looking for love or romance? I'll probably be. Let's see. That's a great question. Can I, respond on that? I just got to read the book not too long ago called Divorceless Relationships.
Okay.
And it talks about, how you get into relationships, whether it's with a spouse or a mother, daughter, sister, or even your job, your money. And it talks about how much you divorce yourself in order to prove or to please somebody, I love you, So if you like to jog on Mondays and they like to chill, a lot of times we'll give that up to prove that we care about somebody. So it talks about being completely honest with yourself and then going for exactly what you want. So with that being said, it talks about a part, what you want, love, or what you want, So I just know I want to be at joy, So whatever that means, I just want to be at joy. So love, I probably would like, I'll probably go for love. I can always, get some romance or teach somebody how to romance or something. But love is just an emotion that is, can't replace.
Oh, wow. Robin?
I'm greedy. I want them both.
All right.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Okay.
So,
But that's you, because some can deal with the physical aspect and separate themselves. So they're looking for love, and then they can just, romance is just what it is, and we're going to.
But that's not love to me. I think a romance is included in love.
Well,
I was just about to say
I mean,
For some. Right?
exactly. But for me,
Right.
I would want them both. So that's just, I don't know.
When I think of love, I think of and I'm going to say this. I want to say it correctly because my mind is just gone.
About that.
2 Corinthians chapter 13, or is it 1 Corinthians 13? Okay, 1 Corinthians 13 talks about the definition of love. So when I think of love, I think of all of those things. And so with that, you're going to get, as she said, the romance. And when you understand the love languages of your mate, you're going to get that romance with that love. So I think it's a combination for me as well. But someone said something about joy. Love is joy. Peace, long-suffering, selfless, etc. So yes, both.
I'm going to say both.
Both, okay.
I'm used to giving from the romantic side. Sometimes it's awkward to receive. Eventually, it turns into love because you're actually experiencing a person. The person has an opportunity to experience you as well. So I believe it's a growing, developing, building type thing. So because some things right now are just so quick, so fast, I think it's just important to actually take your time and to romance somebody, get to know them in an intimate way. And I'm not necessarily saying the physical side of it. That'll come, probably if it's done right, it'll come with a love when it actually means something, when it lasts. But the romance side, and I think that's a key into keeping it as well. Most people that I know that have successful relationships that we see, they're in a situation where they romance each other. They courted or courted, how we courted each other. They spent time, they dated, they put in that time, they put in that work. They may have had some disputes, but they were selective about those things. And I've learned some things. So I think the romance into love, they actually have a greater chance of success.
And I'm glad you said that because I think as well, February 27th will be my 23rd wedding anniversary.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So for me, it was definitely a combination of both. It started, friendship. That was a budding romance, but it was now just undying love and affection. Like now it's really like, now what would happen to me if something happened? In early beginning stages, you don't really think about that until the love grows, because so it moves in stages. And I know for me, it did definitely move in the stages because I was young with 2 kids, and here he was an older guy, 8 years older, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, in a minute. Really?
I understand.
Did that make a difference because he was 8 years older than you?
Well, it made a difference for me because for me, guys my age, I was just way beyond my years. And so, what you said earlier, boy, bye.
Yeah.
I just didn't have time for all the play because I had kids. So I was dating with the purpose. And I recall saying, okay, I'm getting ready to go find these girls a dad. And we laughed about it, and we laugh about it to this day because there were so many crazy dynamics going on with he and I's relationship. Our own personal stuff that we brought into the relationship. And I remember telling him one day, it don't matter, we'll work out all that along the way. And we literally worked it out along the way because we were friends. He'd say he didn't get married to get divorced, and me, I'm thinking, whatever, because we'll probably end up divorced because I was young. And I'm just thinking about me wanting my own life, and the kids are going to go and, you're 8 years older. Is that going to make a difference?
Yeah.
But as I've become a seasoned woman at 53, that's just comfort. It's like, it's a different kind of feeling. So I'm so glad that, I could see the growth and the longevity, because you don't really always see that when you're young in relationships. That's how some of them. I just had a client the other day that's divorcing by default, I say, because of the barriers that they both brought into, and as you say, she had boundaries and certain things she just don't want to compromise, and so now they're in that hard place where one wants to work on it and the other. So
I was just thinking about when you said 8 years. My deceased husband was 11 years my senior, and we became friends first. And that is so important. But we took divorce off the table once we decided to commit to each other. So divorce was never going to be an option for us. So congratulations to you guys for pushing through.
That's something that should be discussed when you get into a relationship, if divorce is an option? Because before, when I got married, it wasn't as important to me. Now that I've grown as an individual about marriage, my parents stayed together until my mom died. But then they were separated, but they didn't divorce each other because they said that divorce was for better or for worse. Although things didn't work out for them. Just now, I just feel that marriage is different than it was when I first got married. So to me now, divorces would be off the table for me as well. So do you think about that at a younger age than you do when you're older? Or is it just something that comes along with growth?
Well, for me, I think I grew up in a home where my parents were still married. So for me, I only saw a team growing up from a child. So I saw a team working together. I never saw them be at odds with each other. So in my mind, marriage was always good, a good thing. So with some people, as they're dating, they don't have that reference.
Exactly.
So divorce is going to be on the table as an option. And if you put it on the table as an option, when the option time comes, you're going to take that option. So for us, we were in it literally till death do us part. Not thinking that death would have came as soon as it did. However, we meant it.
So do you think that because we were older, we feel that way, and we were younger, we didn't think about it?
Right.
That's possible. We're wiser.
That is definitely true.
We're wiser.
And she say a lot wiser in the sense where now we're looking at when you become 50, 60, that's later life. So we're all looking now who wants to really be in that space of alone by themselves. And so we know we weren't created to be here alone. So as you say that you're always so hard on people.
Me? Robin.
Me? Yes. I
Okay.
would like for one of the brothers sit to the left or right of you to help you with this little hardness that you seem to think that you have in running. Would you think it's the sternness of the boundaries that you've already set for yourself in relationships, or the fact of the residual stuff from past relationships that just make you so firm and not dating or not bending or being flexible?
I think it's a combination of
Combination?
Both. I think it's a combination of both. But having this 6-year singleness has given me time to figure things out. I know that every relationship is not going to be perfect. So I am willing to do the limbo if I have to.
Okay.
But there are certain things that I'm just not going to bend with. I don't have to. I don't have to.
And that's good, because that's boundary setting. And then
Yeah.
I think, and that's good that you said that, because oftentimes, we get out of relationships and we think, I don't want to be by myself. Well, it's too much time, and I'm still by myself. So we'll just take. We'll just take something. So for you both, all of you all, to say you have certain parameters and boundaries that you've set because of prior relationships. You know what pain feels like. You know what this feels like, and so this is where I'm at. And whoever comes in my life can either accept me like this with this or not. And it does make a difference, because even with me being 26, I think it was 26, 27 when I met my husband, because of the past relationships, I was stern. I knew what I wanted, and I was dating with a purpose. Hunting, I ain't have no time to waste.
Yes.
And so I think a lot of times we have to put ourselves in position, especially men. And do you all find, well, I know you have your sons.
Yes.
And so are you in a relationship or married?
I'm not in a relationship.
Okay, so how do you yourself address those type issues, being a father of 2 young boys, not in a relationship, but may want to commit, but still you have the dynamics of your children?
Well, for me, it's more so if I meet the right person, we have to have like a standing, good relationship, good foundation, and that's even before you be introduced to my kids, because that's the number one thing in my life. And so, if I can't have a good relationship with you, a good understanding with you, you're not gonna meet my kids. So the next person that meets my kids will be the one.
Oh, wow. That's
So-
awesome.
See, Larry and I have this rule also. If we meet someone, we have to be friends with them for at least 6 months before they're even invited to our home. Because that's our sanctuary, that's our privacy. So if you're coming in just to run in and run out,
Right.
it don't work
Right.
like that for us.
And I think boundaries have to be set, especially with kids or young adult, older, because boundaries. And I'm glad both of you are men and have the same views, and not just women. So you see, women, we're not the only ones that do not want just anything, hanging around. Guys are particular as well. They don't want you around their kids unless there's a relationship. So I commend you, both of you men, for being able to say that.
I just want to say, when we think of dating, it's like interviewing for a job. And so when we take a resume in, we may take 20, but we may only see that there's one person suited for the job. And the other ones may go in the trash, the shredder. They may go to be filed to look at later, what have you. And I think we have to think about it from that perspective. We just can't
Yes.
bring presents into our home and just give the
Yes.
presents to the children, and they uncover the presents, and then all of a sudden that present is taken away.
Gone, yes.
So we have to be very, very intentional about what that looks like to us and to them.
As well.
And I think we have to think about, what do we really want? Do we just want casual dating, or do we want to date with a purpose?
Exactly.
You know, and we have to be honest with people.
Right.
And I think for me, one of the things that I've seen on this journey, and I'm not going to say all men, I'm just going to say some of the ones that I've come across and some of the ones I've heard about. They're not as honest as they should be with the women. So when my husband passed and I started dating the first time in 2016, I was telling the guys that I was dating. The the way I date, meaning other people. You are not it.
Right.
Because I need you to understand that that is what it is. I don't need us to play games. Because I am at a place where I don't want to jump into another relationship because I'm hurting from the loss of my husband.
Right.
And I want to explore. They had a hard time with that.
They do. Yeah.
They had a
people
hard
do.
time with that.
But usually that's the females that have the hard time, and the guys are usually easily to move on. But I see myself shifting as to where I'm easily to, okay,
Yeah.
fine, you know, I
Right.
can understand that, and I can move on. I'm a big girl.
And
so-
keep it going.
And keep it moving.
And we've had an encounter like that recently where she was open, and I thought she was open in a sense, but I really thought the person really fond of her, but could not accept the fact his male ego, I think, was just
And
just
I
the
think I
fact
kinda
that she wanted
crushed
to
it.
date. I think he couldn't get past the fact that she was actually saying, I'm going to date other people. And
Well, see, it could be two sides of that because he could actually be an ego person, but he could actually be a person that's like, oh my God, this is the one I actually like.
See, and that's why we were confused
Right.
because
So you.
we were confused about that.
we were confused.
You know, I had a fairly recent experience. I met a young lady and she changed my life in a way. She made me think about myself. She kind of positioned herself as if she was out of my league. And she did let me know she was dating other people, which was the first time I actually heard that from a young lady. We spent time and the things were cool, like really, really good. I know we were attracted to each other, but she put me in a situation like, okay, if I'm gonna win her, number one, I had to weed out the other ones. Often enough, we start relationships and even into marriages where it's based on a time frame. And a lot of us men, and I will say this because I know, and I've talked to enough of us to know that sometimes we succumb to the young lady's time frame, so to speak.
Yes.
And we may not be prepared. We may not even be ready,
Yes.
whether that be emotional or financial. And then we have children that we definitely had to consider. My boundary even now is like, I don't have the tolerance for an argument. That's almost automatically deal breaker. And especially depending on, I don't want the conflict. I don't want the energy messed around with. And you might be a wonderful person, loving, giving, all the wonderful qualities. But at the end of the day, if you're disturbing my peace,
That's it.
and I'm trying to
Who has
give you,
time for that?
if you're doing that, then as wonderful as you might be, that's just not a good fit for me. And then I have to think long term. That energy that you placed on me now is probably going to be pushed off on my children or anyone else that's around.
Exactly.
And eventually it becomes a really, really toxic thing. And when you become toxic, nobody wants to be around toxicity.
No, no.
No, not at all.
You said something, Tim, that stuck with me. I wanted to ask you about it. And it's a male thing, I'm assuming. You said you're not used to receiving romance.
Right.
Is that meaning you're not comfortable with receiving, or the women you've dated never really romanced you?
Both. Often enough, I'll just put it like most men, we're used to being the chaser. Even to the point there's that song, why must I chase the cat? Why must I be like that? The Atomic Dog. Like we're used to chasing. We're used to wooing. We're used to doing all of those things. So it's one thing that we're actually giving all of that out. And I'm not saying it's wrong. But sometimes it's a comforting thing to actually receive it in return. And it's uncomfortable initially, like, hold up, you did this? You paid for the meal? You took me to the spa? You bought me a pair of shoes? You want me to look nice? And it's a difference if you want me to look nice versus I want to change you.
Right.
And I've encountered a situation where I felt like the individual I was there, they were trying to change me into be something that I really wasn't.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
And so at a younger age, when you're young, and this is the other thing to understand, maturity is not based on your age.
Yes.
It's definitely based on your actual life experience, and you grow into certain things. So when I met the young lady that I met those years ago, she caught me in a place where I didn't know that I'm as great as I am right now. And I could say I'm as great as I am right now because I had to learn myself. And I had to learn how strong I am. So, and that romancing, that side actually growing and receiving, like I didn't have a lot growing up, I'll put it that way. And I appreciate them, but like being able to give a good gift that means something. it goes far beyond, well, I'm just going to buy you another bag.
Yes.
She may not need another bag. You might just need something nice to let you know, okay, he's thinking about me during the course of the day. That was cute, make you feel real good. You know, something that carries way beyond something like that. So for me to receive that in return, I'm like, she's thinking about me just like I'm thinking about you. And it doesn't matter. I don't have to be this close to you to feel that, and it means something. So it's just different.
Yeah.
I saw a topic the other day and got a lot of comments, and it said men need to be spoiled too. What are you three guys' take on that? Because I thought it was an awesome article.
I'll start. Being spoiled too. And it goes back to what I said a moment ago. Being able to receive that same thing in return. If I'm going to have a relationship that's going to go somewhere, I want to know that we're building, strengthening each other. Beyond a little while, spoil me, give me a little something. I had an experience years ago. I've had so many experiences. I'm glad for it. I won't give them all. Hey, I think I might be a little wise beyond my years, but some years ago, I took a young lady on a guy's trip, which is technically against the rules, but I tried it. I was in Georgia, and I'm like, I'm in a relationship with somebody, and we hadn't been out of the state, we hadn't been out of whatever, and I'm like, I don't want insecurity issues, because you know that comes along just based on that. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to take her down there for security purposes. Went down there, things were cool, but by the second or third day, I was taking her to the bus stop. Like, look, I'm serious. It got just that bad. I'm like, okay, I'm thinking this was a good thing. We're going where the beach is. We're going to do some wonderful things. You get away from your regular routine. Let's go do something. It wasn't a good thing. It wasn't a good fit. And I don't think it had very much to do with the guys as far as it's concerned. It's just knowing that individual wasn't used to that. And that's what I'm used to. Let's get out and do. Let's enjoy. Let's smile. Let's laugh. Let's do stuff that's
That's why it's important to spend time with people before you decide that you want to do stuff like that.
You're right.
So you got to spend time with people in order to know what it is that makes them click, what they like. And I think just personally, if you just spend time with a person, just say a month, you'll know what they don't and don't like. You know what to say that'll push their buttons. You know, I just think it comes along with spending time with someone that you may be interested in before you decide to take them on a trip.
I'm gonna disagree, but it ain't
Okay.
I don't think it takes longer than a month.
No, I'm just saying you decided to take her on a trip, but I think if you would have spent some time with her, a little bit of time before you took on a trip, you wouldn't have been at the bus stop.
We spent much time. I had known her for a while.
Okay.
But I took her out of her comfort zone.
Okay.
Right.
She was used to a lesser life. I'll just put it that way. She was used to a certain type of environment where you can touch everything. I know where things are. I can do this. If I don't want to be here, I can move someplace else. It was just introducing her to something new on a greater scale. And I also knew this was something that I want to do long term. I want to be able to travel with the other person. I want to go someplace. I want to dress up nice and let's go someplace nice. I don't necessarily want to go to McDonald's because I want something quick. I want to do something that's building us. So it was a little different. It just took time. It was just different.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
I will commend you on taking her on a guy's trip, though.
I know, right?
That's a major violation. So for you to do that, that was a real huge step. That
So maybe she felt
I would have thought she would
because
have
it was a
acknowledged.
guy's trip. You think?
Yeah, either backed out like.
That's possible. I know it was kind of against the rule in retrospect, but that also kept me, should have allowed me to continue my relationship. I put it that way. And so
honestly.
I thought it would have too. I'm like, okay, they're going to do this and whatever else the guys are going to do, but at least you know you don't have to worry about me engaging to a certain extent. Wasn't the best move.
Backfired.
Yeah,
But
shots fired.
can I say this? It's good that you experienced that because you now know what kind of standards to have for yourself in terms of selecting the person, because insecurity, that's a big deal.
Yes, it is.
So you don't want to be with someone who's not secure in who they are, and you can't go on a trip and be okay with your guys
Right.
because of that. So it's a good thing you experienced that. So that should be on your non-negotiable list.
Oh, yeah.
You need to
It-
be
it's
secure
on there.
about who you are.
But that's the same thing you were speaking a moment ago about a job interview when you're actually dating. You know, we don't see people's full potential until a longer time. And some people just upfront, and that's what you see. They're not going to change. But sometimes, okay, I got a little hidden thing. This person likes to ride the clock. They look like they're working, but they not that type of person that's actually going to really put in what it takes to be successful. So it doesn't quite work that. And a lot of times, that's where I've been hoodwinked. I'm going to use that. I've been hoodwinked a little bit. I'm thinking I got all of that wonderful stuff in the front. But,
it's about getting to that hour, and I tell you, this has really been a show with our amazing guests and finding out the information from both sides and both perspectives in terms of love and engaging and what qualities that they're looking for. Everyone here on our panel is single tonight. Sister Shanita, she has a special something that's coming up here. Would you like to share with us?
Yep. I'm a part of a group called Pursue. It's for single black people. And so it was started in South Florida 3 years ago, and it is a huge group. It was started by a black male who happens to be a minister, but he is such an amazing guy. And so they're having their meetups all over the world. I have the pleasure of hosting the first Atlanta meetup on Valentine's night. And over 150 people have RSVP'd. Now, you guys know the women are going to be in the house. So you single men, I need y'all to meet me at Pinstripe on Valentine's night in Stockbridge. And just come out and mingle with the women and enjoy the fellowship and the fun of getting to know these beautiful black women.
So tell the viewing audience the information.
Yes, please. Pursue Atlanta Meetup is going to take place February 14th, Friday, February 14th at 7 p.m. at Pinstripes in Stockbridge. Come out, hang out with us, have some fun. We're going to do virtual reality. There's bowling, there's pool, there's going to be some speed dating. You got food, you got arcades, rock climbing, whatever. I mean, it's a lot of fun.
How do come out. RSVP?
They can go to the website the page for Pursue and join the group. And then I think you'll find the link there. Or they can contact me.
Wow.
Okay, and then you got some other things. Okay, I'm sitting here. Okay, never mind.
We'd like to say hello this evening to Thomas Hughes Sr., Lakeisha Williams, which is my right hand, my personal virtual assistant down in Jacksonville, Florida, also one of my younger sisters. Juanita Johnson, former guest, she's a travel agent. Angela Lewis, hello, our sister. Angelita McCants is watching. Gail Davis, Eric Thomas Sr. is watching. Brother Gibran, would you like to take us out? And for all of you all that are interested in the event that Sister Shanita was talking about, we will post the information on our Be Positive page. And please go out and support on February 14th, Valentine's, if you're single and you are looking to date.
So I also...
Oh, yes, and we wanted to talk about Timothy.
Yes.
Do not forget our one and only true Timothy Jackson. Tell them what you were in the movie.
Recently, January 10th, the movie Just Mercy. Go out and see it. It's an awesome, awesome movie. It was great to be a part of that project. Great message, something that builds your confidence and make you feel good about your family and let you know where we are in the world today. And things can and will progress if you're persistent and consistent in what you're doing. So be sure to go check it out. Just Mercy is in theaters right now and be out soon.
Okay.
And with that being said, we have Shanita Scott Conley, Gibran Music. Follow him. We have, of course, Robin Watson of the Be Positive and Timothy Jackson. You can find him on Facebook page. Our guest co-host, hopefully this will not be our last time seeing him. He's a journalism major, Alex Freeman. And to our other studio guests, which are the kids and one of Miss Shanita's friends. This has been a great evening, and we're going to let Brother Gibran take us out.
All right, let's be positive. Again, you can reach me at all musical outlets. That's Gibran Music. That's Jebron Music. And we just want to continue to keep it positive, right? All right.
Yes.
All right, so sing a little bit. Okay. We got a song. That's my song called Celebrate Life. It's a song about celebrating life. Every day is a Friday, you know. Lift your spirits up, you know what I mean? And keep it up. So, again, check it out. And we could, you know, we got Lil Javon over here singing.
Okay.